Welcome to World Information HD, your trusted source for uncovering fascinating facts about history, money, and rare treasures. In today's video, we'll take a closer look at the top 5 most valuable and rare Roosevelt one-dime coins from the United States that have shocked collectors and sold for millions. Stay tuned, because you might just discover that a simple dime in your pocket could be worth a fortune. The dime, one of the smallest coins in circulation within the United States of America, has always held a place of intrigue among collectors, historians, and casual coin enthusiasts alike. Though tiny in size, measuring only 10 cents in face value, its story runs deep into the nation's history, symbolizing progress, patriotism, and even acts of heroism. Today, we will take a closer look at a coin that many people have likely held in their pockets without giving it much thought: the 1994 Roosevelt dime, struck with the D Mint mark in Denver. What seems like an ordinary coin could in fact be a hidden treasure, and in this journey, we will uncover its origins, history, features, and the reasons why collectors across the globe continue to chase after examples of this very dime. The Roosevelt dime has been in circulation since 1946. It was first introduced to honor the legacy of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States, who had just passed away in 1945. Roosevelt was not only an influential leader who guided the nation through the Great Depression and World War II, but he was also a strong advocate for the March of Dimes, an organization that fought against polio, the disease that had personally afflicted him. To immortalize his contributions, the dime was chosen to bear his image, a lasting tribute that remains with us today nearly 80 years later. By 1994, the dime had already become a staple of American commerce. Millions of them were struck by the United States Mint that year, with production taking place in multiple facilities, including the Denver Mint, which applied the small D Mint mark to its coins. While most people looked at the 1994 D dime as a simple piece of pocket change, numismatists recognized that even in years of mass production, coins can develop variations, errors, and unique qualities that turn them into valuable collectibles. One of the first aspects collectors look for in the 1994 D Roosevelt dime is its physical design. On the obverse side, or the front of the coin, you'll find the portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt facing left. His face is detailed and refined, showing the dignified strength he displayed as a leader. Surrounding his profile are inscriptions: the word, Liberty, to his left. In God We Trust, beneath his chin, and the year 1994 positioned neatly at the lower right. Just above the year rests the mint mark, D, signifying the Denver Mint as the place of striking. The initials, JS, standing for John Sinnock, the chief engraver of the United States Mint who designed this coin, can also be found on the obverse, tying the design back to its original creator. Turning to the reverse side, you will see an image that has become iconic over the decades. The design showcases a torch in the center, representing liberty, flanked on the left by an olive branch, symbolizing peace, and on the right by an oak branch, symbolizing strength and independence. Encircling the reverse are inscriptions: United States of America, across the top, E Pluribus Unum, in the middle, and one dime at the bottom. Though seemingly simple, this reverse design carries great symbolism, speaking to the ideals and values that the United States represents. The 1994 D Roosevelt dime is composed of a copper-nickel clad, consisting of an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. This composition has been the standard for dimes since 1965, following the Coinage Act of 1965 that removed silver from dimes and quarters due to rising silver prices. Before that, Roosevelt dimes from 1946 to 1964 were struck in 90% silver, making them highly desirable for their precious metal content. While the 1994 dime does not have silver, its uniqueness comes from other factors: condition, rarity, errors, and demand among collectors. When talking about condition, collectors often use grading scales to determine a coin's value. Coins can range from circulated examples, showing heavy wear and scratches, to pristine, uncirculated pieces with sharp details and brilliant luster. The grading scale, created by the American Numismatic Association, runs from PUR, P1, all the way to mint state, MS-70. For the 1994 D Roosevelt dime, examples that are uncirculated or close to mint condition can fetch much higher prices than those that have been heavily used in everyday transactions. Collectors prefer coins with minimal wear, strong strike details, and clean surfaces without blemishes. Error coins are another exciting aspect of collecting the 1994 D dime. Sometimes, during the minting process, mistakes occur that result in coins with unusual characteristics. Examples might include off-center strikes, where the design is not properly aligned with the planchet, or double dies, where parts of the design appear double due to misalignment during the engraving process. There are also clipped planchets, missing elements, or even wrong metal strikes. While these errors are rare, they can drastically increase the value of a coin, making a simple dime worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. The Denver Mint produced a very large number of dimes in 1994, making the year's production fairly common in general circulation. Yet, not every dime is created equal. Those found in pristine condition, preserved carefully in coin rolls, mint sets, or proof sets, tend to stand out. Collectors also pay attention to strike quality, as some Denver Mint coins might show slightly weaker strikes compared to those produced at Philadelphia. Finding a sharp, well-struck 1994 D dime is a treasure in itself. The market for Roosevelt dimes has grown steadily over the years. While older silver dimes from the 1940s through the 1960s draw much attention due to their silver content, the clad dimes such as those from 1994 have slowly carved out their own niche. Collectors understand that while these coins may not contain silver, their rarity in higher grades and their potential error varieties make them just as fascinating to own. For example, a dime that looks like every other dime in circulation could, upon closer inspection, reveal itself to be a rare double die variety or a misstrike, transforming its worth overnight. Collectors often ask, "How do I know if my 1994 D dime is valuable?" The answer begins with a careful examination. A magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe is often necessary to inspect the finer details. Look for doubling in the lettering, particularly around "Liberty in God We Trust" or the date. Check the edges for signs of clipping or misalignment. Notice the luster and shine of the coin. Does it still reflect light as though freshly struck, or has circulation worn it down? These small details can make a world of difference in value. Beyond its collectible nature, the 1994 D dime holds significance as part of the ongoing story of American currency. Think for a moment how many hands a single dime might pass through during its life. It may have been used in vending machines, laundromats, payphones, or grocery stores. It might have been saved in a child's piggy bank or tucked away in a coin jar for years. Each coin tells a silent story, carrying with it a fragment of American life. When collectors acquire one, they are not only purchasing a piece of metal but also a piece of history, a tangible connection to the daily lives of millions of Americans. Over the years, Roosevelt dimes, including the 1994 D mint issue, have been gaining more respect among numismatists. Initially overlooked compared to other series like the Lincoln Cent or the Buffalo Nickel, they now occupy a firm place in the hobby. As more collectors seek to complete Roosevelt dime sets, coins from the 1990s are becoming increasingly important, especially in high grades or with unique errors. The demand for these coins continues to rise, particularly among younger collectors who grew up using them and now seek to preserve part of their own history. The 1994 D dime is a reminder that value can often be hidden in plain sight. What most people see as a common coin might, under the right circumstances, be worth far more than its face value. The key lies in awareness, knowing what to look for, how to evaluate condition, and how to appreciate the significance of even the smallest details. A Denver minted Roosevelt dime from 1994 may seem ordinary to the untrained eye, but within the world of numismatics, it has the potential to surprise and delight. And now comes the question you've all been waiting for: just how much can a 1994 D Roosevelt dime be worth? Welcome back to our channel, where we uncover the hidden treasures of American coins, exploring the fascinating stories, history, and value behind some of the rarest finds that might be sitting in your pocket change right now. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most intriguing coins from modern U.S. minting history, the 1990-60 Roosevelt one dime. At first glance, it looks like an ordinary coin that millions of Americans have held in their hands over the decades. But as with many coins we discuss, the true story lies beneath the surface. Some examples of this coin have been sold for an incredible amount of money, transforming an everyday dime into a collector's dream. So, if you've ever wondered what makes the 1990-60 Roosevelt dime so special, what history shaped its creation, and why certain versions of this dime are so incredibly valuable, stay tuned, because this is going to be a deep journey into numismatic history. The Roosevelt dime has been a staple of American coinage since 1946, replacing the Mercury dime, also known as the Winged Liberty Head dime. The change came after the passing of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, who served as the 32nd President of the United States. Roosevelt's leadership through the Great Depression and World War II left an enduring legacy, and he was also closely associated with the March of Dimes, a charitable foundation that fought to end polio. To honor his contributions and his memory, the U.S. Mint decided to replace the Mercury dime with one that bore his image. Since then, the Roosevelt dime has been one of the most widely circulated coins in the country, with billions struck over the years. By 1996, the Roosevelt dime had already been in circulation for half a century, marking an important milestone. The year 1996 was special because it was the 50th anniversary of the dime's first issue, and the U.S. Mint even released special editions to commemorate the occasion. This milestone made 1996 dimes particularly significant for collectors, since anniversary coins always attract more attention and hold a unique place in American numismatic history. While millions of Roosevelt dimes were minted at different facilities that year, the Denver Mint, marked by the small D mint mark, produced an enormous quantity. Yet, not all 1996 D dimes are created equal. Some carry characteristics that set them apart, making them worth far more than their face value of 10 cents. To understand why, let's first look at the details of the coin itself. The obverse, or the front side, features a portrait of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, facing left. This design, created by John R. Sinek, has remained largely unchanged since 1946. Surrounding his image are the words, "Liberty," to the left, and "In God We Trust," at the bottom left, with the year 1996 placed neatly to the right of the portrait. Above the year sits the small mint mark, D, identifying the Denver Mint as the place of production. On the reverse, or the back side of the coin, we see a torch in the center, symbolizing liberty, flanked by an olive branch representing peace and an oak branch representing strength and independence. Around the design are the inscriptions: United States of America at the top, E Pluribus Unum in the center, and one dime at the bottom. Although the design might appear simple, it has stood the test of time and remains a classic piece of U.S. coinage. The interesting part comes when we talk about minting errors and rare variations. While the Denver Mint produced hundreds of millions of Roosevelt dimes in 1996, a small percentage left the mint with errors or unique features that turned them into valuable collectibles. Some of the most sought-after errors include off-center strikes, double dies, missing mint marks, and coins struck on the wrong planchets. For example, a dime that was accidentally struck on a blank meant for a foreign coin, or on a planchet intended for another denomination like a penny, can fetch incredible sums. Another popular error among collectors is the double die, where details on the coin appear doubled due to a misalignment during the die-making process. These errors are fascinating because they represent rare accidents in an otherwise precise minting process, making each coin truly one of a kind. For the 1996 Roosevelt dime, collectors also look closely at the condition of the coin. Coins are graded on a scale known as the Sheldon grading scale, which ranges from poor 1 to mint state 70. A coin in average circulated condition, meaning it has been used in daily commerce and shows signs of wear, may only be worth its face value of 10 cents. However, a coin in mint state, with no signs of wear and sharp, detailed designs can command much higher prices. Even more valuable are coins graded as full bands on the reverse. This designation refers to the horizontal lines, or bands, that wrap around the torch. If the bands are fully separated and clearly defined, it indicates a strong strike and makes the coin more desirable to collectors. A 1990 60 dime in mint state with full bands is significantly rarer and can bring impressive premiums at auctions. Now, why would a coin that was minted in such large quantities be worth so much today? The answer lies in rarity combined with condition. While millions of these coins were produced, most entered circulation and became worn down through daily use. Very few were saved in pristine condition straight from the mint. Among those, only a small fraction show the sharp details and lack of blemishes that collectors prize. On top of that, add in the potential for rare mint errors, and suddenly, a coin that seems common transforms into something extremely valuable. Collectors are willing to pay top dollar for these rare survivors, especially when they are graded by professional services such as PCGS or NGC, which certify their authenticity and condition. It's also important to understand the historical context of 1996. The mid-1990s was a period of strong interest in coin collecting, with many people starting to take note of modern coinage. The release of the special 50th anniversary Roosevelt dime only fueled this interest. Collectors began looking more closely at the coins they already had, and demand for high-grade examples soared. Over the years, this demand has only increased, especially as more collectors seek to complete modern U.S. coin sets that include every year and mint mark. The 1990 60 dime, with its anniversary significance and potential rarity, has become a standout piece in these collections. Another factor that influences the value of this coin is auction performance. When rare 1990 60 dimes come up for sale, especially those in mint state with full bands or error varieties, they often generate excitement among collectors and investors. The competition to own such a piece drives up the price, sometimes to astonishing levels. Each record-setting sale adds to the coin's reputation and encourages more collectors to search their own change in hopes of finding a hidden treasure. This cycle keeps the value strong and ensures that the 1990 60 Roosevelt dime remains one of the most fascinating coins of modern American numismatics. If you are lucky enough to come across a 1990 60 dime in your pocket change or coin jar at home, the first step is to check its condition. Look at the details on Roosevelt's face, the inscriptions, and especially the torch on the reverse. Are the bands fully separated and sharp? Is the coin free of scratches, discoloration, or signs of wear? If the answer is yes, you might have something far more valuable than 10 cents. Even coins that don't qualify as mint state but still show minimal wear can be worth saving. For those who want to be certain, submitting the coin to a professional grading service is the best option. Once graded, you'll know exactly where your coin stands in terms of rarity and value. The story of the 1990 60 Roosevelt dime teaches us that even modern coins can hold incredible value under the right circumstances. Too often, people assume that only old coins from the 1800s or early 1900s are worth money. While it's true that age can contribute to rarity, condition and errors play an equally important role. A modern dime from the 1990s can outshine coins that are decades older simply because it is rarer in top condition or because it carries a unique minting error. That's what makes coin collecting so exciting. Any coin in your hand could turn out to be something extraordinary. Collectors and treasure hunters across the country are constantly on the lookout for coins like the 1990 60 dime. Stories abound of people discovering valuable coins in their loose change, at garage sales, or tucked away in old jars passed down from relatives. These discoveries fuel the imagination and inspire more people to take a closer look at the coins they encounter every day. Who knows? The next valuable coin might be sitting right in your wallet. Welcome back to the channel, where we explore the hidden treasures of American coinage. Today's journey takes us into the world of modern coins, specifically the 2015 D Mint Mark Roosevelt dime. Now, at first glance, this coin may seem like an ordinary piece of change that most people wouldn't think twice about. After all, millions of them were struck and released into circulation across the country. But as you'll discover, Not every coin is created equal, and some of these seemingly ordinary dimes have become incredibly valuable treasures for collectors and investors alike. The Roosevelt dime has a fascinating history. First issued in 1946, it was introduced to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt shortly after his passing. Roosevelt had been a pivotal figure during the Great Depression and World War II, guiding the United States through some of the most challenging times in history. He was also closely associated with the March of Dimes, a campaign to fight polio, which made it especially fitting to place his image on the dime. Over the decades, this small silver-colored coin has carried his likeness into millions of pockets, purses, and coin jars across America. Now let's move forward to the year 2015. By this point, the Roosevelt dime had been in circulation for nearly 70 years. The composition had changed decades earlier, shifting from the 90% silver dimes of the mid-20th century to the modern copper-nickel-clad versions we see today. The 2015 dimes minted in Denver carry the familiar D Mint mark, a symbol indicating their origin from the Denver Mint in Colorado. Billions of dimes roll off presses there every year, so it might surprise you to learn that a coin from this era could hold significant value. But as coin collectors know, rarity and condition can turn even modern coins into highly sought-after collectibles. What makes the 2015 D Roosevelt dime so interesting is that while it was mass-produced, certain unique factors set a few examples apart. Condition is one of the most critical aspects. Most dimes from circulation show scratches, wear, and discoloration from everyday use. But in rare cases, some coins survive in pristine condition, often called mint state. These flawless examples, sometimes graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC, can command attention from serious collectors. A dime that looks untouched, with sharp details and a brilliant shine, instantly sets itself apart from the millions of worn coins that pass through our hands daily. But beyond condition, errors are another factor that makes coins like the 2015 D Roosevelt dime valuable. The minting process is incredibly precise, but mistakes do happen. A coin may be struck off-center, missing details, or display unusual die errors. Sometimes, these errors go unnoticed until the coin is already in circulation. When collectors find them, the market can respond with surprising enthusiasm. Imagine holding a dime that looks slightly off compared to the others in your wallet. It could actually be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. The 2015 D Roosevelt dime is also a reminder of how coin collecting has evolved in modern times. Back in the early 20th century, people would often look for rare coins in their pocket change. Today, although the mint produces billions of coins each year, the excitement still lies in hunting for those rare varieties, error coins, and pristine examples. The internet has also revolutionized this hobby. Collectors from around the world can now connect, trade, and showcase their collections with just a few clicks. As a result, demand for unique modern coins has only increased. Let's take a closer look at what collectors look for in the 2015 D Roosevelt dime. First, eye appeal is key. Collectors often talk about the luster of a coin, that natural shine that reflects light beautifully. When a dime has that shimmering glow and no noticeable blemishes, it catches the eye of buyers. Second, strike quality matters. Not all coins are struck with the same force or clarity, and some examples display sharper details, making them more desirable. Lastly, provenance or unique history can add to the allure. If a particular coin comes from a well-known collection or has been preserved under unusual circumstances, its value can rise even higher. Now, why should we care about a coin like the 2015 D Roosevelt dime? It's simple. Because it's proof that treasures still exist right under our noses. Many people dismiss pocket change as insignificant, but within it lies the potential for discovery. Imagine finding a dime that most people would overlook, only to realize it could change your financial picture. Coin collecting teaches us to pay attention, to look closely at the details, and to appreciate the artistry and history behind every design. This specific dime also tells a broader story about American coinage. Think about it, coins are everyday objects that pass through countless hands. Each dime has been part of small transactions, buying a candy bar, paying a parking meter, or being saved in a child's piggy bank. And yet, out of these ordinary exchanges, some coins rise above the rest and become symbols of history, value, and rarity. The 2015 Roosevelt dime is one such example, bridging the gap between the mundane and the extraordinary. Collectors who specialize in Roosevelt dimes often focus on building complete sets, which means having one coin from each year and mint mark combination. The Denver Mint has produced many dimes over the decades, but the 2015 issue remains an essential piece in the puzzle. For some, owning a high-grade example of this coin is the difference between an average collection and a truly exceptional one. This demand drives the market value higher, especially for coins that are certified as near perfect. The world of coin grading is worth mentioning here. Professional grading services evaluate coins on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 representing a flawless coin. A 2015 Roosevelt dime graded at MS 68 or higher can attract significant attention. Collectors recognize that only a tiny fraction of coins ever achieve such a grade. It's like finding a needle in a haystack, and that rarity is exactly what makes it valuable. Of course, not every 2015 dime is worth a fortune. The vast majority are still worth face value, 10 cents. But that's what makes this story so fascinating. Hidden among the countless dimes in circulation, a few rare gems exist. They're just waiting to be discovered by someone who knows what to look for. That thrill of discovery is what keeps collectors searching through change jars, coin rolls, and old collections passed down through families. Think about it. How many times have you handled dimes without giving them a second thought? Every coin has a story, and the 2015 Roosevelt dime's story is one of hidden value, collector demand, and the ongoing evolution of numismatics. It serves as a reminder that even in the modern era of coin production, there are still surprises to be found. When we talk about the worth of this coin, it's important to remember that value is determined by more than just rarity. It's also about demand. Collectors compete for high-grade coins, unique errors, and certified examples, pushing prices higher. The 2015 Roosevelt dime may not have the centuries of history that older coins carry, but it represents a modern treasure in the world of numismatics. For new collectors, this coin can be a gateway into the hobby. It's accessible, easy to recognize, and yet offers the potential for exciting discoveries. For seasoned collectors, it's a chance to complete a set or invest in a high-quality example that could appreciate in value over time. Either way, the 2015 Roosevelt dime proves that every coin has potential, sometimes far beyond its face value. As we close this deep dive into the world of the 2015 Roosevelt dime, let's reflect on what makes it special. It's not just a piece of metal. It's a piece of history, a work of art, and in some cases, a hidden treasure worth far more than 10 cents. Collectors cherish it for its condition, its potential errors, and the thrill of adding something extraordinary to their collections. And for those lucky enough to find the rarest, most pristine examples, the payoff can be astonishing. And yes, the question on everyone's mind is, just how much could one of these coins be worth? While most are only worth their face value, certain rare examples in exceptional condition, especially those graded at the very top of the scale, have sold for an impressive sum. One such 2015 Roosevelt dime has reached a value of $14,874. Welcome back to the channel, where we dive deep into the world of American coinage, discovering hidden treasures, untold stories, and the fascinating history that hides in the palm of your hand. Today's journey takes us into the modern era, but don't let that fool you. Even the smallest coin, minted in recent years, can surprise you with secrets and unexpected value. Our spotlight today is on the United States of America 2017 P Mint Mark Roosevelt 1 dime, a coin many people might have in their pockets, their change jars, or stashed away in a forgotten drawer. You may think of it as an everyday coin, but what if I told you that some examples of this dime can be worth far more than 10 cents? That's right. One of these seemingly ordinary coins can carry a story, a rarity, and a price tag that would astonish anyone. Before we reveal what makes this coin special, let's take a step back and explore its background, design, and the circumstances that make it such an intriguing piece for collectors. The Roosevelt dime has been a cornerstone of American coinage since 1946. First introduced to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt after his death in 1945. Roosevelt wasn't just a president, he was a symbol of resilience, leadership during the Great Depression, and hope during World War II. He also played a key role in the March of Dimes, an organization dedicated to fighting polio, a disease he personally battled throughout his life. Because of that connection, it was only fitting that Roosevelt's profile would grace the 10-cent piece. Designed by John R. Sinek, the dime portrays Roosevelt's left-facing bust on the obverse, along with the inscriptions, "Liberty, in God We Trust," the year of issue, and the mint mark. The reverse design features a torch in the center, representing liberty, flanked by an olive branch on the left, symbolizing peace, and an oak branch on the right, symbolizing strength and independence. Together, these elements create one of the most meaningful designs in U.S. coinage, rich in symbolism but simple in style. Fast forward to 2017, a year that carried something special in the world of American coins. For the very first time in history, the Philadelphia Mint placed its mint mark, the letter P, on circulating dimes. Up until then, coins struck at the Philadelphia Mint typically carried no mint mark at all. This move in 2017 was done as a way to commemorate the 225th anniversary of the U.S. Mint itself, a historic milestone for American numismatics. For collectors, this was a big deal. Suddenly, the dime you pulled out of your pocket change had a story. It wasn't just another Roosevelt dime, it was part of a once-in-history celebration of the Mint's anniversary. The 2017 P. Roosevelt dime, therefore, stands out as the only circulating dime in history with a Philadelphia Mint mark. That fact alone makes it unique, even before we begin talking about condition, rarity, or errors. Now, let's talk about production. In 2017, the U.S. Mint struck an astonishing number of dimes, over 1.5 billion of them across all facilities. Of that total, the Philadelphia Mint struck hundreds of millions. So, at first glance, you might think, with so many coins made, how could this dime possibly be valuable? Isn't it just another common coin? The answer lies not just in how many were made, but in the combination of unique minting circumstances, condition rarity, and the ever-present hunt for errors. Collectors often say, "Mintage tells part of the story, but condition tells the rest." For a modern coin like the 2017 P dime, most examples are circulated and show wear. But a small number of coins survive in pristine, almost perfect condition, graded by professional services such as PCGS or NGC as MS68, or even higher. These are the coins that truly command attention, because out of hundreds of millions, only a handful can achieve such perfection. Then there are the error coins. Every collector dreams of stumbling upon one of these unusual pieces. In the world of the 2017 P. Roosevelt dime, some errors have been reported: off-center strikes, die cracks, doubled dies, and other minting mistakes. While not every error coin is valuable, the right combination of rarity and demand can elevate a dime's worth far beyond face value. Imagine pulling a dime out of your pocket change, noticing something strange about the design, and discovering it's an error coin collectors would pay hundreds or even thousands of dollars for. That's the thrill of coin collecting, the hidden treasure waiting to be found. But the story doesn't stop at errors and condition. The historical significance of the 2017 P dime adds another layer to its allure. It represents the first and only time the Philadelphia Mint celebrated its identity on a dime by marking it with a P. This event ties the coin directly to the Mint's 225th anniversary, making it not just a piece of metal, but a symbol of history. In years to come, collectors will look back at 2017 and recognize it as a turning point, a year when the Mint did something it had never done before. Now, let's imagine this from the perspective of a coin hunter. Picture yourself sitting at a kitchen table late at night with a pile of dimes spread out before you. You begin searching through each coin, paying close attention to the mint mark, the date, the condition. Suddenly, you spot a 2017 P dime. To most people, it's just 10 cents. But to you, it's the start of a mystery. Could this be one of those rare high-grade examples? Could it be hiding in error? The possibility alone is enough to quicken your pulse. That's the magic of coin collecting, the excitement of possibility. Even for casual collectors, the 2017 P-dime holds significance. It's a reminder that sometimes the coins still being produced today can become tomorrow's treasures. Many people assume that only old coins from the 1800s or early 1900s hold value, but that's not true. Modern coins, under the right circumstances, can command staggering prices at auctions. And when you consider how many people overlook dimes entirely, focusing more on pennies, nickels, or quarters, it makes this story even more compelling. The Roosevelt dime has always been a small coin with a big message. Its design speaks of liberty, peace, and strength. Its history honors a president who helped lead America through its darkest hours. And in 2017, it became a coin with a unique identity, thanks to the Philadelphia Mint finally leaving its mark. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or someone who just enjoys the thrill of checking pocket change, the 2017 P. Roosevelt dime is one of those modern issues that deserves attention. So, what does all this mean for value? Why should you care about a dime minted in 2017? Well, while the majority of these coins are worth face value and will never be more than pocket change, there are rare cases where the story changes. If you happen to find a flawless example in the highest grades, or a dramatic era coin that stands apart from the billions produced, you might just be holding a small fortune. And here's the number you've been waiting for. One of these 2017 P. Roosevelt dimes has been known to sell for as much as $9,266.